attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I might rent the Lambo and go drive it like it's stolen. I've been living wild, I'm just going through the motions. Stumbling out the Uber, grab my hand, gave me the notion. Swimming in your water, but it feels just like the ocean. I can't lie, I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I was sipping more for 2 years straight to the face. Champagne belly bubbles still won't go away. Last year my best man hit a stain with bad face. Now he's got a hell behind the water's cold case. I wake up with pain sometime and now.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to This, That, and the Third. This is the podcast where absolutely no topic is off limits and everyone's opinion is on the table. All right, so today we're talking about Ayesha Curry's viral comments that has social media divided. Was she being real? Was she being reckless? Or is she just misunderstood? So we're going to break down the backlash, double standards, and the truth behind her honesty. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So Shannon, I know this is something that you were really looking forward to talking about. So how you feeling?
I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say. I'm opinionated. I got my opinion about it, but I want to hear, especially these gentlemen. How they feel about it, especially what y'all got to say. So I'm
All right. Hey, man. Here we go, man.
I
So,
want to hear what he got to say about it too.
hey, I know, right? And Tegan too, right? All right, so we're going to get into it, man. But before we do want to give our guests an opportunity to introduce themselves, tell you who they are. So ladies first, Sakura, you start us off.
Hi, I am Sakura from Lexington, South Carolina. Pretty much am a new mommy now. That's like my greatest achievement. I work in the political space, so that's normally what I do for a living. And I'm very opinionated about this particular topic, so I can't wait to hear what everyone has to say about it.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, David, what you got, bro?
Hey, I'm David. Yeah, that's it. I'm here to join the conversation. I was invited, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm a father of 3 girls and husband to 1 woman.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, Hutch, what you got, bro?
Hey, Marco Hutchison. I'm from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Went to the great University of South Carolina, the only university in the state of South Carolina. I'm always on Hook's post saying something because he the only Tiger that I mess with during football season because I enjoy his antics in his posts. So I was invited by them to the show and looking forward to the comments because I have a strong opinion to the left of women. I'm not even going to get in biblically of what women say that could cause harm to their husband's brand. So,
All right, so as you can see, we have some very opinionated folks on the show today. I think it's going to be interesting, man. So we'll go ahead and get started. But before we do, for the viewers, make sure you guys comment, make sure you react, make sure you share. All right, we appreciate all your support week in, week out. Let's go ahead and get it started, man. So I want to ask a very general question to get things going, right? So, do you guys think that Ayesha Curry was wrong for saying she never wanted marriage or kids, or was she just being honest about her how life can change?
I'll
You
go
know,
Let y'all
first,
start.
Hutch.
We still
I'm
doing
yeah,
letting
go
y'all.
ladies
for it.
first, or
Come on, David.
what?
Get in where you fit in.
Well, I didn't have a single issue with what she said, and when I saw the backlash or the whatever it was, I initially thought, did she have a sex tape with Draymond Green or something? I didn't I didn't get I didn't get it.
Look,
And then I sat and I watched the video. I didn't have a single thing. I didn't see a single thing that she said was wrong. When she made the statement, I didn't want to be married and I didn't want to have kids. She was speaking in the past about being an 18, 19, 20-year old. That
mm-hmm.
makes perfect sense. Um, I didn't get it. I don't think she said anything wrong. Um, right after she talked about that, she said life changes. You don't really know what you want. She sounded like a normal person. And so I think the only thing she really offended was maybe men's egos because I was like, what is it? What's the what's the problem? This is
What's
a
the
normal person
hoopla?
talking.
Why?
What's the
Yeah,
hoopla? I don't even understand how it made it this far. This is just a
yeah.
normal woman person talking. If I
Okay,
She was
Mr.
married
Walker.
at 22. She was married at 22, which I know a lot of guys at 22, they're still handing out penis like it's and she's married at 22 and 3 months later she's pregnant. This is a young woman who's trying to come into herself and became a mother very young. A lot of challenges with that, and I just didn't get it. I was like, "What are people talking about?" You know what it felt like? It felt like how people talk about Shador and
Yeah,
LeBron, just looking for stuff to be critical of, just trying to
yeah.
find stuff. There's not. There's. I have no issue with what, and I'd be curious to know what exactly the issue is here. I really want to know.
Okay, I'll go next since I'm on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, come on.
Yes. Okay, let's set the stage. Steph Curry met his wife at a FCA camp when they were little. I used to attend FCA camps. They breed young marriage over fornication in sexual relations. So it's no way that she wasn't dreaming about being married young, attending FCA camps all her life. That's way out the window. I don't take approach to what she may have said if the introduction to her and Steph are different. If she was just a young lady that was, maybe he did meet her at church or she was just running around and, having her life and he met her in high school and then he went to Davidson and she went to UNC or something. Cool. But you done known this dude since you was young. Y'all didn't just meet on a whim. You faking for the cameras like a lot of people are doing these days.
It
You
sounds like you read
posing
a
and
whole lot into the
I,
situation.
I, but it
It's a
it's
little more
not
to
a
the
it's
story,
not a
though.
read. You have to know people. People living their lives in front of Facebook and
Mm-mm.
Instagram and stuff
No,
all
you
year
doing a whole
long.
lot of, and I ain't even let you
No,
finish. I'm
More to the
sorry.
story,
you
first of
can
all.
come on to it. You can come
I
on
ain't
with it
let you
because
finish. I
she is.
It's
apologize.
Yes, you go ahead. Give it to me. Say, give me who she
You
is.
act like I know my children were raised in a church and I made them go to a lot of stuff. So for you to insinuate just because she was participating in SCA that somehow she um
had those same
also dreamed
views.
of marriage or prescribed to every single
So
doctrine
why
that
did she get
they
married then? So why she said yes? If
Can
she
I
didn't
don't
have those
get
same views,
can
why? Why would she get
I
married at 22?
just
can
because
I
you say
try?
yes don't mean you always thought you would do it. That's like
Oh
that's such
my.
a that's a
So what is always? So you didn't
low
have many years.
vibrational thought process.
How many years?
Right.
How many years is always if you get married at 22? When did she start thinking about it at
I
8?
got married in 6 months. I ain't know
I'm saying,
I
but
wasn't
how
thinking
old were
about
you? How old were you?
I was in my 30s, but still, the
Okay,
point
you done live life. You know a lot more about life. She got married at
I ain't
22.
live. No, the point is that you can do things yesterday or tomorrow that you didn't think you would do yesterday.
That's true.
That's not
Can I
a
also,
far
I,
fetched thing,
can I
I
also
don't
state this?
understand that.
And I
including
use you.
Unpack that
including
statement.
marriage.
Yeah.
Can I
So
Unpack that
so so
Shannon,
statement.
so
you know
Sakura,
what?
Oh, go ahead.
Sakura, like what's your
Yes.
opinion?
So, like, I definitely disagree with Hutch on this. I agree with David, and Shannon, just simply because of the fact that people have the opportunity to change their minds about things. Like, you never know what your situation is going to be tomorrow, like Shannon's saying. So, like, in this particular perspective, like, what the part that you're leaving out is that she left North Carolina. She left Charlotte, North Carolina to go have a career in acting. And she had a career in acting, which is what she also stated on the podcast. And what's so funny about that is that Steph ended up in LA for something basketball related, and he hit her up because they had lost contact. So it ain't like they have been dating since they were in high school or nothing like that. No, like they pretty much were friends that never dated. And then he ended up hitting her up when he was in LA, and they hung out for the weekend. And basically, like that was when he realized that he wanted to pursue her and date her. So they pretty much talked over the phone for like a year or so before they even like you know got together per se. But like just because you go to FCA, that don't mean you necessarily want to be married to somebody. I've been in church all my life, then did FCA myself. I am not married, could care less about marriage at this point, and I have a whole child at this point. So my thing is that your perspective on life, things happen, things change. You also have to give her grace because, as you stated, she was young, and of course, at 30 you know way more about life than what you do at 22. And at 22, you could be bright eyed and bushy tail hoping to get married, and because you're in love with somebody. And then at 30 you could be like, I didn't wish for this. And that could be two things can be true at once. I still love my family, but I didn't hope for this. This is not the life that I wanted. That's why people get divorced all the time. Because you change your mind. And if you tell me I'm lying, I know you've lied.
I would say I don't.
And
I
what
don't know
I'll
why
Lying like
people.
a bird.
I don't know why people get divorced.
People get divorced
Usually
because they
they.
change their minds. Because you got to think about love in the perspective of you wake up and you make a decision every day to love someone. If it's not your child, if it's somebody that you're not innately related to or you don't have any sort of relation to, you have a choice to love this person. I mean, people be like, "Oh, I don't have, I love them."
And
Yes, you.
I don't think you fall out of love with people. I think you fall out of lust with them.
No, I
I
think
don't
you.
think you
I think
fall out of
you
love with
dislike.
anybody.
No, I think you
That's what
dislike
I say.
people's
It's a light.
actions. However, I feel like you dislike people's actions towards you doesn't mean you can't love them
Correct.
still. I mean, but you
You
still
fall
make a
out of
decision
being
to
in
love
love with
people.
someone. You can love
That
someone
is
but no longer be in
correct.
love with them.
No,
Correct.
love.
And
Love
and
is
that is a
love.
decision.
But
No,
that's
no, it's
something that's
not.
always said.
That unfortunately,
You
that's not
said
how
the
it
beautiful
works. There
thing
are
you
three different
said is
types of
love is a
love.
decision.
But
Okay,
there
go
are
ahead
three
with.
different types of love. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. So, like with her, it was I love myself. I don't see myself being married. I don't see myself having children. And I think that's also a societal norm that people are forgetting is not as literally as recent as the 1970s. Women have become independent thinkers and doers. So my thing is that before 1970 a woman couldn't even have her own credit card unless she got it through her dad or her husband. So my thing is that now, because we're independent and we have independence and we can think on our own and be
Careful,
independent
because I
thinkers.
think you're referring to Caucasian women. Black women been thinking for a
Well,
long
first
time
of
for
all,
themselves.
hold up, wait a
I'm being
minute.
serious.
Actually,
Black women
black
been
women,
thinking for
but
a
hold
long
up, black
time for
women,
themselves.
but black women didn't get the right to vote or the right.
What
So
are
I'm
you
talking about in
talking
the
about?
societies.
So
I'm
you
talking in the
think
Well,
black
society.
women been quiet and submissive as long as Caucasian women? That's what you talking to? You finna
Oh
say that on this
my
podcast?
God.
now what? And let me interject here, right? What I Here's my thing. Like, I'll be honest. I personally had. I'm with David on this one. I personally had no issues with what Aisha said. For me, it wasn't the
Don't call me.
message;
Oh,
it
hold
was
on.
the deliverer, right? And I say that because when I saw Ayesha Curry in the headlines, the first thing I thought was, "Oh shit, here we go again." And I say that because the first time she said something, it was along the lines of she wanted attention from other men and all kind of stuff. Right? So that's what I think. even though these comments weren't as bad as that, I think because people are judging her based on the first comments that she made. But because I took a step back and I said, okay, if this was anybody other than Ayesha Curry saying this, would I be upset? Probably not.
Well, look, dig
First,
deeper in that. Why is it that people dislike her so much? Like, what is it
because
that? Because even when
because of
she
the
started doing the interview, she mentioned how she was scared to say anything because she didn't want people to misunderstand or people to have something to say about what she was saying. And to me, it's like, why are people looking for food for fodder when it comes to what
it's
she's
not.
saying?
It's two situations, right?
Yeah.
The first is
Okay.
when she stated that she wanted attention from or insinuated she wanted attention from other men, right? As a married woman, whether you feel that way or not, if my wife feels that way, I don't expect her to say that publicly. You know what I mean? And the
Right.
second thing is
Exactly.
when she was on The View and this guy came out, the shirtless guy came out, and she's like, playfully, she was playing, taking her wedding ring off and stuff like that. So now, again, it's the first situation and then that situation. And although this was nowhere near that bad, I don't have an issue with what she said. It's the person that actually said it. So people, it's not
Look,
necessarily
can
that
I
what
give
she
you
said
this
But
was so.
these
piece
be the
too?
same
Can I
people
give you
who
this
have work
piece?
husbands. These be the same people that got some man or some woman at work bringing you food, bringing you soup. These be the same people who, just because you don't speak it or you don't have the courage to speak your truth, don't mean you're not doing something even more salacious in the background, right? And I
I
think,
can't disagree with that, Shannon. I mean,
yeah.
I
So
wholeheartedly agree with that statement, but it's also the one where she says, "I wish people would jump in my DM." Did you forget about that one? Like
No,
people are
because
talking
you
about how
said that.
great of a guy Steph Curry
I
is,
don't
and
think
she said,
that
"I wish
her,
somebody would get in my DMs."
I don't
Like,
think that
like
her
why would you say
So
that as a married woman?
So I think y'all really be taking it and like y'all throw it like into left field sometimes. And what I mean
taking
by
it
Okay.
that is
down.
y'all take it like, yeah, you do take it down.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And I think
Good
what's so
gracious.
funny about it, I think what's so funny about it is that it's like it's like basically you expect women to keep their thoughts to themselves when in our reality, if this was Steph Curry, people would be applauding him about the fact that he
But as
changed
you
his
can't
mind.
say if it
Hold
was Steph
on, let me
Curry
hold
because
on,
he's
wait a
never
minute
said
though. But if
anything
it
like that. But go
was,
ahead. Okay.
him, men would be applauding him like, oh man, or people would be applauding him like, oh my God, he changed his mind about having a family and having a
Now I would
wife,
say he
right?
chumped up.
That would
That's what I
be
would say.
trumped up. That's what
I
you
would
would
say
say.
he chumped up.
So being
That's what I
married
would
and
believe.
having children is trumping up.
Chump. I would say he chumped like he chumped up. He chumped out
That's
on his
what I'm
wife. If
asking.
he has a good wife and she's doing what she's supposed to be doing by his vows, and he wake up one morning to decide, oh, I don't like her as much, or I don't love her as much as I
So
did
that's not.
yesterday, and he decide to bounce and say, hey, we're gonna get a divorce for irreconcilable differences. I would
But it
call him a
happens
man.
every
I would say he
day.
chumped out.
It
But
happens
and I
every
call men
day.
that do that chumps because
But
marriage is not for the weak of heart.
But it's not like
Like you
she's
say, it's
saying
a
that she wants
choice.
a divorce, though. That's the thing, though. What she's saying is that the like in finding herself throughout her marriage, this is what she would like to happen. Not saying like say for instance, how can I put this? Um, growing up, I knew I wanted to be a wife and I knew I wanted to be a mom, right? I wanted to have like 8 kids. I know I'm supposed to get married in like 27. I'm supposed to meet my husband. He's supposed to be like an athlete or whatever, right? And I was gonna be an attorney. Well, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not married. I do have a child, but I'm 35. This is my first baby, and I'm 35. Um, and so life comes at you fast. Life changes. Like you'll tell God your plans, and God will laugh at you and be like, "That's not what I got for you. Like I got something else." But it's gonna be even better than what you thought it was gonna be. So my thing is that there's nothing wrong with me coming back and being like, you know what? I thought I was gonna have this, that, and the third. It's my truth. And like somebody stated in the comments, like your truth is your truth, but sometimes you don't have to say it. I disagree because that's why we have all these divorced people out here and all these broken people walking around because you don't talk about things that bother you. You don't talk about the things that make you feel some kind of way because then you're considered ungrateful. And that's pretty much what everybody was trying to say she was saying was that she was ungrateful for the life that she has. And I don't think that's anything near what she was trying to say. I
No,
think she
I
was
don't
trying
think she
to
said that. I
No,
don't think
she
I
didn't.
don't.
She
That's how
didn't.
Yeah, I
people
That was
don't.
the
Yeah,
characterize
perspective
what
that
she was
people were
saying.
given.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
let me
have
ask
that
y'all, right?
perspective.
Hmm.
So let me ask y'all, right? So along these same lines, why do you think people get so angry when women admit that they didn't dream of being wives or mothers?
Because that's all we're supposed to have ever wanted all our
Exactly.
lives, right?
Exactly.
And when we want anything, the same reason why when a woman is not married in her 40s or don't have children, they look at her as an old maid or frowned upon as
Spencer.
if she couldn't have chosen a different life for herself because we are objectified as only being able
Hmm.
to what be in the kitchen and the bedroom,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So people get
Yeah.
So,
mad when you have a strong
Hmm.
woman saying, "I don't choose those things for myself. That's not what I
mhm.
want. I
But
Hmm.
want
does it
something
make
different."
somebody when you say a strong woman, does it make a woman weak because she wants those things?
No,
I
a
Absolutely
don't
woman
not.
think
can
it's
be,
a matter of strength.
Absolutely not.
but
Oh,
Absolutely not.
okay.
but it does
When
It
I
is.
take
It
say
strength
is.
to be able
It
to
strong,
is.
say that.
when
It
I
is
It
a
say
does
matter
take
of strength.
strength.
strong,
It is a
I'm
matter of
talking
strength.
about from the standpoint of being able to stand up to the scrutiny
Hmm.
of
Yep.
not
Right.
Yep.
selecting those things.
Yep.
But of
Yep.
course, I'm a mother. I've been a wife. I'm
Yeah.
extremely strong, and now I choose to be single. I have been strong throughout all those journeys. So no, absolutely not. But you do get a different scrutiny because you choose that lifestyle for yourself. And then
Yeah.
even for myself, I've always told my children, I'm Shannon first, I'm your mom second. Like be like
Exactly.
chill out because
Exactly.
I can't be the best mom if I don't take care of me first. I've never prescribed to the fact that I'm a mom and everything I do is centered around me being a mom. The hell with that. Part of Shannon, part of Shannon is a mother.
Right.
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
very good one, but that's just
Yeah.
part of me. So I completely identify with how she speaks about her truth, how she tries to articulate her truth, but to people who just can't comprehend that type of freedom, they don't even understand it. They don't even
Mm.
understand it because you have
Yeah.
people out there who, once they become mothers, they're so laser focused. That's all they can see. They think that's what their life is completely about. But I remember when my daughter left to go to college, I was a mess, and that wasn't even my life. So I can't even imagine how a woman would be who centers her entire life around raising her children when her children finally leave the house because they're gonna leave. They're
But
supposed to.
I think different things complete people. In the big focus of, you know, if Steph okay with it, I'm okay with it. But
That part.
I'm a big guy on branding. And she should know her brand and what's selling for her and her husband. So when you make hellacious
That is her
statements,
brand.
no,
That
that's not her
Do you
brand.
know Ayesha Curry?
Their
have you
brand
followed
is
Ayesha
beautiful.
Curry?
Do you know Ayesha
Their
Curry?
brand is beautiful Christian family.
No.
Good.
No, no,
Oh
no, wait.
my. Okay. All right. Go
That
ahead.
ain't
What's her
it.
I don't
brand?
think.
What's her
I
brand?
don't
No, no,
think.
no. Because I'm
I
sorry,
don't
What's her
think
Steph.
she.
brand?
I'm sorry,
I
Steph,
don't think
What's
because
her
she.
that
brand?
ain't
I don't
Christian.
think the
She ain't
Currys.
ratchet and raggedy. Go ahead.
I don't think the.
And I'm talking about they dead. I'm talking
Go
about
ahead, Dave.
I
Steph.
don't think. I
Christian.
don't think the Currys don't need any help with their branding. They're doing just
No.
fine.
Just
they don't
fine.
need. They don't need
Just
any
Okay.
fine.
advice from. They don't need any advice from us about their branding at all.
So
They're doing. They're
what's so
doing just
funny?
fine. In
What's
fact,
so
you know
funny
what's
is you
interesting?
stated,
You know what's
Yeah.
interesting about her brand? What's interesting
What's
about her
good
brand is she has a her company is called Sweet July. That's her
about
company,
it?
Sweet
Yeah.
July.
And the
Sweet
Nothing
July
wrong
restaurant
with
she
is
smelling
had.
cooking.
right. That's
yep,
she has the magazine. She has the
international smoke.
skincare line. And what's
Right.
interesting about Sweet
Cooking.
July? What's interesting about it is that Sweet July is based. If you listen to the full interview, it's based on all the great events in her life, which is her anniversary with Steph and the birth
Mhm.
of three of her four kids. So
Yep.
this is a woman who clearly cares about her family, clearly loves her
Did,
husband. She's
didn't
just
say
being
that.
honest, right? She's just being honest about her journey toward where she is now. There's
Mm-hmm.
zero, and in fact, I take it a step further. I don't even think there's anything wrong with her making the statement that we mentioned earlier about her wanting male attention. Because if you listen to the statement, she says, I'm with Steph. Women are throwing themselves at Steph all the
Yeah.
time. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, and over time, I've had this man's children. Over time, I start to develop some insecurities. That's just an honest statement.
It's honesty.
That's
Paul,
just an honest
stop.
statement. That's just an
Paul,
honest
stop.
statement.
Yes, Paul, stop. You ain't got to say you want somebody else in your DMs.
It's
No,
not.
That's
It's
what I'm
she
not.
was
saying.
A,
It's
it's
just
having
the
an
not a. It's
proof.
not a
honest
It's just the
question of.
proof.
conversation.
It's not a question of whether you have to say it or not. We're not here to
That's
be
the
the
only
police.
question. That's what we here for,
We're
to
not.
discuss whether
There's
she
nothing
should be
wrong with
saying it
saying
or
that.
not.
No,
There's nothing
no,
wrong with
To
we're
me,
saying
it
that.
not.
is.
No, we're not.
I
There's nothing
think
wrong,
for a married
and
person to
that's
go
fine.
ahead.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They put her on a show. They put a microphone in her face, and they interview
Yes.
her, and we consume this stuff. So,
Yeah.
Ayesha Curry is not the first person to talk about her private life or talk about details that may be a little
Absolutely
uncomfortable.
not.
That's
Absolutely
so.
not.
This is not unusual. So I'm not gonna crucify her as if she's somebody different than anybody else who's talking. She didn't even say anything bad. She said she. In fact, after that statement, she said after she said I want male attention. She said, well, I just don't want to. I just feel like he's getting all this attention. I look at it like this: you're married, I assume. You're married.
Yes, sir.
Imagine if every
Yes, sir.
time you go out, every single time you go out, five guys are hitting on your wife right in front
Um,
of you.
I swear
Imagine,
they are.
imagine, and no woman is even looking at you. You might develop a little complex over time. Like, hey, what the
You
hell?
might,
You
David. Tell the
might.
truth.
Yeah,
You do.
You might.
They
you
And
get
that's
about
all
do.
you.
she said. And that's all she said. That's it. And that just sent the
I'm
internet
telling you.
in storms. That just sent the internet
You know, one
upside
thing I
down.
think, David, I have to say is when I saw the comments and I finally went and watched the interview,
Right.
I said, you know what? We are so hooked on sound bites.
Absolutely.
You know, we are
Absolutely.
so hooked on
Okay, well, y'all stop
sound.
being mad at Donald Trump then. Don't be mad
Okay,
at Trump.
you're
Cause,
just
cause the
you're
whole
just
No,
you're
now
internet
just
look
trying to
here.
win
based on,
now.
that's
Now
what
You're
I'm
look
just trying to
here.
saying.
win
Like
now.
if we're
You're
gonna
just
Now
trying
do,
to
look
win
don't be
here.
now.
mad at sound bites.
You
Now
Everybody should
just
be
look
trying to
right
happy with
win
the
here.
now.
president, right?
You just trying
Everybody
to
should
Donald
be
Trump
happy
ain't no
with
No,
soundbite.
let's be
that's
yeah.
clear.
that's the way we
I
live.
will sit there and listen to Donald Trump's whole speech, so I don't have to
And
be
the whole
mad at
speech be
sound
jacked
bites.
up.
I can
You know
hear
you
what
know
came
you're
out of his
reaching.
mouth.
You know you're
Okay,
reaching
so
now.
No, I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying
you're
You
that
know
reaching.
you're
Jacked up.
reaching now.
The
no, I'm
whole
saying
speech
that
When
be
you're
it
jacked
have to
up.
always
you're
be a
comparing the
story.
commanders in chief. You're comparing the commander in chief to Aisha Curry. Man, stop it.
Commander
So
in
you
chief.
want
Man,
Man,
stop.
him,
in
Terrell? You
although
want
in the
him?
I
world,
do,
Yeah,
in the
man,
world.
stop
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I agree. I agree that I think her comments were taken out of context. I totally do. I truly do. However, comma, pause. I do think a lot of the things she said were disrespectful. Like my wife, I would not want my wife out there saying she want men in her DMs. I don't care how much attention I'm getting, think she getting. I wouldn't want
And
that.
just
And
just
vice
FYI.
versa. And vice versa. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. If my wife is getting attention, you know what I mean? Like to me, that's where I draw the line. But again, if we're talking specifically about these most recent comments, I have zero issues with what she said. Because going into college, I didn't want to join a fraternity, but here I am, almost 30 plus years later. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean? So I had no plans on doing those things, but I ended up doing them. So I have no problem with her saying I didn't want marriage, I didn't want kids, because as you grow, as you meet people, your opinions on that may actually change. But again, I don't think that people are taking what she said and what she did in the past, and they're applying it to the current situation. But I don't think that personally, I don't think she deserves the vitriol she's faced with right now. I don't.
No, she does not. And I
Okay.
respect totally everything you said, Hook, because that is the relationship that you have with your wife, right? That y'all would not say these things about each other or personal things out in public. But I feel like Steph may have a different relationship with his wife because she does, and he's still married to her, right? And you don't hear anything about them having marriage problems or getting divorced. So there's a different relationship between them two where she can come out and say these authentic things about herself and it doesn't make her husband feel any kind of way. Or if he does, he says it to her in private, but she
Right.
still speaks her mind. So
And I
that's
think
also
I think that that's the thing that's going unsaid here, because Steph
yeah.
has always been quiet. Steph,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't hear about,
Yeah.
he don't
Not
talk a
once.
lot. You know what I mean? Unless he's
Yeah.
interviewed or whatnot. But I think because every time you hear anything Curry related, it's Aisha. It ain't Steph. So truth be told, we don't know how Steph feels.
We
Right.
Actually,
don't
we
know.
do.
And
And,
Actually, we
that's
do.
the point I'm
Actually, we
making.
do.
how we know?
Actually, we do.
He
How
said
do we
something
know?
mean to
He
Pat
said
Beverly,
something.
but
He said something to Killer Mike about it too, and he basically, checked Killer Mike, and Killer Mike had to come back out and apologize. So
What'd he say?
let's be done. He was basically like, I'm mad that you following up with this narrative, especially you, da 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 da. And he added Killer Mike in the comment, and Killer Mike basically came back out and recently apologized about it because he was basically like, on the Aisha dragging gravy train. But I was laughing at your wife's comment because I ain't gonna hold you, Hook. It was kind of funny that she said it. She said if Hook starts saying how his life is and marriages with is not what he planned, he can go. He needs to reconcile that with himself and make a plan. Don't be out in the streets telling people that while married to me. I
Hey,
ain't gonna
see,
hold you. She said what she
exactly.
said. And he on the same page too. He on the same
Yeah, but
page
that's
apparently.
y'all's
So we get
relationship, and I think people
right.
will put their own personal how they will handle their relationship on how the Currys are handling their relationship, and it could be completely different. I didn't see the Killer Mike
But I
thing.
don't think. Oh, go ahead, Shannon. I'm
I
sorry to
didn't see
cut
the
through.
Killer Mike thing, but I would suspect if he had a big issue with it, she would tamper that energy if she wants to keep her marriage. Um, she
Yeah.
would she would do better. She would watch what
To
she
be
says. But the
fair,
fact that she is so open and still will take an interview after all the backlash she got from the last interview, and
right.
still just be able to speak her truth and speak
But she
authentically.
did want to be an actress, so I mean, she loved the camera,
She
so I
was an
mean, that
actress.
was her frontline career.
You just
Yeah.
She was
pulling
an actress.
everything
I
out
mean that.
your
I mean,
ass. I
But
swear
she
you
was an
that
pull.
actress.
she.
I mean, she was an
They're right.
actress.
She's an actress, so she love a hot mic. So don't
How
It's
try
not
to
you
act
about
know
a
like
she
hot
love a
she
mic.
hot
might just
mic?
be saying something to get her views up. She
See,
might
you
want
tried
some
it.
more people to follow her.
Well, first of
She
all, that
could
podcast.
be. It
Ain't
could be
First of
all
all,
a
wrong.
that
ploy.
podcast is Call Her Daddy, and Call Her Daddy. She don't need no extra views on that podcast. White women watch it like nobody's business. Okay. Secondly, when you say that, like when you make comments like that, like oh, like she likes a hot mic or whatever. This is why women don't come out and say what they really feel is because they feel like they're going to get backlash like that and they're going to get dragged. Because if I was to come out and say, when I didn't dream about being a mom, here I am holding a baby, like people would look at that as like, oh, well, like what kind of mother are you or what kind of person are you to say that? Like, oh my goodness, like clutching my pearls. And the thing is that this is what the situation is exactly. I'm sorry, Poppy. This is what that situation is exactly when y'all come out and say things about people and unknowingly make them feel less than because they felt some kind of way about a past decision that they stood on. I mean, I can't fault you for wearing a red sweater two weeks ago, but that was your decision. You made that decision. Can't come
But
back
I
and say
wonder
you don't want to
why.
wear that red
I
sweater.
wonder
To
why it
your
hurt
point, though.
people's feelings that people got an opinion about what they
It's not
do
about
if they
hurting people's
confident in what they
feelings.
do.
It's about I don't think it's necessarily about hurting people's feelings. I think it's always about the simple fact that you even have an opinion. Like, why do you have an opinion about something that something that it is basically my truth? Like there's nothing wrong with you having an opinion, but I guess my thing is like when it's something that you might disagree with in a sense about my truth, like I don't really know exactly how you want me to feel, like or how you expect me to feel about it. And I think that's where a lot of the misunderstanding comes from with people. Because me personally, if I tell you like I felt some kind of way about something, that's just how I felt. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. It is what it is.
But
That's my
Sakura,
truth.
But
is it like not just they have an opinion? Because everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's the judgment that
It's
comes
the
with it.
judgment.
Like you
That's
can
pretty much
have
what
your
it is.
opinion. You can be like, oh, I wouldn't have did that. Oh, I don't think she should have did that. But you'll be like, oh, she just like Jada. She just like the she
But
she
why that can't be
Sorry,
my opinion?
sorry, you brought up
she
Jada.
no
That
one
ain't
was
is just
funny.
like
worth
Jada.
a
You
damn.
think
You know what
nobody-
I'm saying?
That's funny.
What about
Because
her
we didn't know
husband?
Jada was. We didn't
What
know
about
Jada was
her?
like
She
that.
don't love her husband. She don't love them damn kids. Like, it's that
But
judgment
What if
that
it's
and
the
comes
all
with
truth
and
the
all that
though?
opinion.
stuff, right? All that stuff
But
all
you
that
basically
stuff
just said she was
is
a loving person. You said they had a loving, like their brand is built off of being a loving family. Like,
I
how
do.
could that
I
be the
think
truth?
so.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
See, that's what
like
I
it's,
believe.
it's
But
so
I'm saying
contradicting.
if somebody's so harsh on her, maybe it is the truth. Maybe she don't love her husband. We don't know. Only she knows that.
But that's the
We
thing, though.
don't know.
Nothing
I
that
think
she's
that's the
done has
thing is
indicated
that
that.
that's just
I
like
think
we would have
until
thought that
we
our
hear
mom and daddy
about
love each.
some divorce papers being filed in San Francisco, we should assume that Steph is okay. You
Okay,
know,
well then we
I'm not
we
Steph,
even
thought
assuming.
Big Dale and his wife was okay, and we found out different.
You
So
found out who?
if
it's their
Big
marriage.
Dale,
It's their
Big
marriage.
Dale,
Who is
We
that?
don't need to know
Big
that they're
Dale is
not
Steph
okay.
daddy.
We don't need to
Oh,
know that they're not okay.
still.
Y'all lost y'all with Big Dale.
said Big Dale.
We know who
Yeah,
You
Big
should have
Dale
Big
said.
is,
Dale.
but
You should
who
No,
say
we
but
don't need
Wardell.
to know if they're not okay or if they're okay in their
We don't.
marriage because that's about them and how they deal with their marriage.
Right.
but to
And
that
for
point
us
though,
And
to assume,
when your marriage is in the public like that, right? Does every honest truth even need to be said publicly? Even if you
can
feel
I
that
ask
way,
you a
does it have to
question?
be stated?
Can I ask
That's
you a question to retort that to combat that real quick though? And maybe this is like a second part.
ask the question,
When
girl. Ask it.
when they're doing that, when you're saying that, I, I guess the question is that is not revealing those truths the reason why people have the messed up situations they have now because we don't have people to refer to or reference when it comes to those particular feelings. Like I know plenty of married couples who basically look like they're doing wonderful on the outside and on the inside it's just sugar to shit if I'm
Sugar
being
to shit,
honest.
girl. Sugar to shit.
Sugar to
Yeah,
shit. And
and
it's
that's
like
every relationship though.
no, it's
It's
I
not
mean,
good
every
that's
to
not
buy your
most,
relationship.
but
wife and
No,
your
that
it's
could be
not.
husband
any
on Facebook
relationship.
dating because they
No,
don't
it's
feel like
Huh?
they can be their honest, authentic
They're
self,
honest. Thank
even
you.
when they have a thought, they have to suppress it because somebody's gonna judge them harshly about it, right? Instead of just
Right.
understanding that we're all humans, we're all having a human experience. We all have feelings. It doesn't matter if you're married or if you're single. We all still have these same desires, these same thoughts, and it's okay for you to express them within the context that just because I say it don't mean I'm gonna do it.
Not
Or just because
necessarily,
I'm
but
saying it.
women traditionally overshare anyway. Like women, that's why y'all are great because y'all don't have a problem sharing y'all feelings and emotions. Most men choose not to do that and end up on the other side of a gun a lot of times. So women have never had an issue with sharing
Yet
or
you're
telling
still on
information.
here
So
saying that Ayesha Curry should have not said what she wanted to say.
I
How
don't
he
believe
kept.
she should have. That's just my opinion.
But
Like you
but
said,
listen
that's
to
my
what you
opinion.
just said. Women are oversharers and men
Yeah.
generally are not. So they end up on the other side of a gun
Yep. This is
versus
this is
just
So
the
you
second
saying
time.
that so
sharing
in your
how
opinion,
they
because
feel.
I had that foreknowledge to see that that's what happens, that I should be on Aisha's side to say whatever you want about your spouse as long as it about yourself as long
I
as it's
don't
your
think
truth. It
I'm
doesn't
saying
matter
it
how
should
you're going to be
be a
viewed.
place where you find a little bit of empathy, a
yeah,
little bit of solace, and say that it's
solace.
okay.
I
It's
did the first
okay
time. I
if
did the first time.
someone
No.
expresses themselves, even if they're married.
Well, I
I
did the
think
first time, but this like the third or fourth time. So I
I
don't
think
have any. It's just like Steph over here now. The first couple times he ain't said nothing. Now he arguing with Killer Mike. He arguing
She
with
did not say
Pat
he was
Bell.
arguing with Killer Mike. She
he
did
The
not
just
say
checked him.
he
man
was
So
on
he
Twitter
arguing with
having
Killer Mike.
war. That's an argument. You over
no,
there
that's not an argument. He just checked
having
So
him.
Twitter
you trying
war
to
with
say
Killer
Alexis
Mike,
Ohana was
Pat
arguing with
Bell.
Stephen Smith? He didn't
He over
argue
there
with that
talking
man.
junk to Pat Bell
He
because
checked
Pat Bell
him.
say your woman,
He
anybody
checked that
woman.
man. So
He
you trying
checked
to say
that
Okay.
Alexis
man.
Ohana was arguing with Stephen Smith? That wasn't an argument at all.
That was definitely him checking him
He
for
checked
sure.
them. That's not an
Same
argument.
way LeBron checked Stephen A about his kid. Okay? That wasn't no
Oh my
argument. Stephen didn't
God.
argue back.
Oh yeah, you ran out 6'8", all 250-pound gorilla of yourself on a man that about 5'8" at a live basketball game when you could have called him or
It
rolled
don't
up at his
matter
house.
if
That
you
ain't
a
checking
man.
nobody. Another
I
David,
do. We
chump
David,
okay.
action.
David killed
More
Goliath.
chump action. That's chump,
David
man.
killed Goliath. It didn't matter that
But
David was
here's the
short or
question.
smaller.
So
Oh my
do you
goodness.
really believe that, let's just say for instance, if Steph Curry shoe is reversed, Steph Curry goes on all the smoke, right? And
Okay.
Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson are very opinionated.
Yes.
If this was Steph Curry and he said something similar
Them all
like, man,
stupid.
at first I didn't want at first I didn't want any kids and I didn't want to be married. But then I fell in love with that Ayesha, and that's how I ended up in this particular situation, right? Let's just say that
Okay.
that happened.
Yeah.
Roles reversed. Do you think this would have blown up the way that it did? And I'm gonna go ahead and
No,
answer my own
because it's a
question
Absolutely
and
not.
double.
say hell
It's a
no.
it wouldn't. It's a double standard because people gonna say most men don't want to be married anyway. They get married because a woman make them, or because the woman finna leave. So yeah, it's absolutely a double standard. But the standard there, don't be mad because the standard already there, baby. It's there.
Listen, listen to how
Go
ridiculous
ahead.
that sounds. No, let's think
Okay.
about how
Thank you,
Go
ridiculous
ahead.
that
David.
sounds.
Thank you,
Let's think
David.
about that. So on one hand, we say if a woman says I don't want to get married, then we criticize her. But if a man says I don't
Yeah,
want to get married, we say, whatever, and we just
we
accept that.
understand it.
Who are the people supposed to get married to then? Why would we expect women to aspire to marriage but not men? That's a problem with us. That's not a problem with them. Women are doing women are doing
Well, okay,
child care.
but
They're
now
doing they're
We
having. Wait,
did.
hold on.
Somebody buy
They're
that
go
man a
they're
ahead.
car. Somebody buy that
they're
man a
having the
car.
kids. They're raising the kids. We that's a better conversation. Is that why aren't we raising
Birthing the
men to
kids.
aspire? Why aren't we raising men to aspire to marriage? Why aren't we raising men to aspire to being
Having
fathers?
babies.
If
Yeah.
there's a double standard there and we admit it, why are we gonna sit here and then join in crucifying this woman when we know there's a double standard? We can't just accept that. That's not okay. If a black person does something and we criticize them, and a white person does something and we turn the other way, we don't just say that's fine. That's just the way it is. We challenge that, regardless if we challenge it, and that's what we should do in this case. We should say, you know what, we're treating this woman unfairly. We recognize that we have different standards for women than we do men. Let's not join in that. Let's not participate in that. That should be our response. That's what civilized, intelligent, justice-seeking people should try to
I'm
pursue.
not civilized then. I'm a barbarian. I'm a barbarian. Because and I love that
So you
argument,
the
but
caveman with
I'm
the
a
club.
savage then.
You the
I'm a
caveman with the
savage.
club.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
And,
I'm a
and you know what's
savage.
and you know what's interesting. This is what a lot of people miss about Ayesha Curry. This is what a lot of people miss about that interview. In that interview, she said when she met Steph, that Steph aspired to be a high school basketball coach. She wasn't
Yep.
even chasing the money. She said, "I grew up in Canada. I knew nothing about sports. I knew nothing about athletics, and that wasn't part of our culture." And so she didn't know he was going to be Steph.
Yeah, I
She
don't think
said,
nobody
she,
ever accused her of that now being a gold
so
digger or
she
anything.
well,
Yeah.
that's not the point I'm making. That's to address your
Okay.
earlier point when you say that people can when you said that she didn't want to be married and then she changed. Well, why did she? Well, he thought he was going to be a high school basketball coach, and then he changed his whole profession. She didn't sign up for that. She came along for that, and she supported and she sacrificed so he could pursue his career. And now she's just talking like former First Lady Michelle Obama is talking, saying, "Hey, I just listened to a podcast with former President Obama where she talked
Mm-hmm.
about how his wife sacrificed so that he
Oh
could
yeah.
pursue his dream."
They
That's
said
and
that
so
early on. Yeah.
Joe,
she's just saying, "Hey, I sacrificed for him.
But you
I
seen how
thought I
she
was going to
hounded,
be
so don't
this."
put up there. Don't put
um,
up there with the
How,
Obama now, cause
there's
we
Look,
some
already know.
but
We
wait,
already know what the
Michelle
first lady done
actually
did.
can I just
hold up,
say
but
I'm
wait a
sick
minute
of
though.
Joe
Michelle
Thompson.
has
That's
come
what,
out.
she
and I guess
she's
that maybe
Speak
that
though.
is the
she's
standard
Can I
that
Speak.
you
just say
she
should
I'm
be
sick of Joe
quiet
sacrificed.
Thompson?
and
Hey,
support your
Shannon, what was
husband.
that?
Can I
Oh,
just
I'm
say
Sick of
sorry.
I'm sick
Joe.
of Joe Thompson?
Me too.
What?
Talking
Hold
about
on.
Can
Which
I
something he
just
comment
already
you
had
say
getting a lot
money.
of them?
sick to death of Joe Thompson? That I'm calling him out.
And then
Okay.
also, can I say this? Y'all can say this, saying that he talking about something. He a Curry. He already had money. No, he
That's
didn't.
what
His
I'm
daddy
saying.
had
That's
money.
what I'm
His
saying.
daddy had money. Steph did not have money. His daddy had money.
Can we just already say we sick of him?
We sick of him.
Um, but
We
also,
all
can I
gonna
also
agree
say
on
this
that.
about societal norms real quick? Like, I think what's so funny is that we expect society to basically um get rid of a 2000 plus year old normalization of women being wives, nurturers, and mothers. And I think that's why she's getting the type of vitriol she's getting right now. Because even
Mhm.
if you look at how, politics is shaping up, we're literally heading into not just an authoritarian type government, but we're heading into a government that's literally going to strip women of its rights and basically try to make you housewives, try to make you mothers, because now they're stripping away, Planned Parenthood opportunities and contraceptive opportunities. So, like, you got to think of it in the sense of like, between 1970
You
and
gotta invite me
relatively
back for that
now,
conversation. But
and
we can.
relatively now and relatively
Who
now
you
between
voting for?
1970 and relatively now, women have had rights and women have had opportunities to be independent thinkers and doers, and now somebody's coming out and saying, this is not what I originally hoped for. Yeah, I became a wife and a mom, but this wasn't my original plan. And like, I'm okay with how my life turned out. I'm not ungrateful, but at the same time, as a young woman listening to her say that, I'm like, it was 2 months before I ended up pregnant with Tegan that I had talked to God, and I literally said, okay, God, I'm 34. I'm about to be 35. I'm okay with not having children. I'm okay with not being married. I'm okay with not being stuck or tethered to somebody for the rest of my life and being miserable if it doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The miserable.
I'm okay. I am fine if that's not what you have that's not what you have planned for me. But if that's what you got planned for me, then I'm gonna take it. And 2 months later, Tegan popped up. So my thing is like, you tell God something about your life and he gonna laugh at you. So that's why I said she has the opportunity to change her mind, and there's nothing wrong with that. She changed her
Yeah.
mind and her life turned out the way it did, and I'm sure she's grateful for it. But
Yeah.
don't hinder her telling you her truth because you feel some type of way or your ego is hurt by it.
But
Joe.
I don't think that you do that though. I don't think by anybody having an opinion about how they feel about what she said hinders her in any way. Like you say, you may feel that it hinders you because you keep saying that's why people don't say it.
Yeah,
But from the
that's why.
flip side, in America, you got the freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to, but it's
Right
gonna
now.
always be consequences to what you say.
Well,
You
it's
know
Right
even
that
now.
that
about what David was saying about you being and paraphrasing the bigger person.
Right.
Understanding that it's a double standard. Understanding that
yeah.
just because you can have these negative opinions, you don't have to have a negative opinion. You can have an opinion, but you don't have to like label the woman, scrutinize
Right.
the woman,
I
put her
think that's
Well,
all
down.
part of running the dozens, though. It's just like I put on there, don't
She been
say what
running
she
the
don't want to be
business.
saying.
but you don't know her
Running
to
the
be running
dozens,
the
just
business.
talking junk. You
But you don't
you
know her
just
to be running
talking
the business
junk.
though.
Like you say, a lot of people gonna talk junk and have an opinion to get a laugh. They don't they may not even share that opinion, or
But
like you said, they may be even doing worse. I mean,
Is that because
some
they're attention seeking?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know that part of it. I don't want to answer in that entirety for people, but I think a lot of times just Facebook in general, it's easy to engage for like 30 seconds, 50 minutes, 50 seconds and have a great time. But you can
okay.
get in a dialogue within a post and come to some type of understanding.
So let me ask you a
But
question.
overall, people go ahead.
So,
What if that was you on the
so
other
you're
on the
saying they could be
receiving end
doing
of
the
what
same
Ayesha Curry?
thing that they're accusing Ayesha Curry of doing?
Yeah,
And
like
just
what if
talking
that was
about
you on the
her.
receiving end?
Receiving the backlash of what was
Yeah,
being
receiving the
said.
backlash. I mean, people, it's so easy to say that you wouldn't care, right? But you do
No, I
realize
ain't gonna
that
lie,
this
I would care.
particular no, because I'm gonna be honest,
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I do care.
her particular statement made it to the Today Show morning news. Like
Right.
that's how much vitriol she was getting on the internet from it. Imagine
And
waking up to that over simply just stating your opinion and thinking that your opinion or your previous thought process may be helping other young girls make decisions on how their life can change. Like if this was my
Y'all
daughter,
gonna think
I
I'm
would not
mean,
have
but could
listened to
it be
that
that
one.
she just slow?
She's
Could,
not
could it
slow.
oh
be that she just
God,
slow?
you
First of
I
all,
just
she
you
mean,
is
just be
she
very
saying
don't
stuff.
when I say
Be
slow, I
saying
mean
stuff.
she don't realize the gravity of what she gonna say. Like she don't
that's the
realize that
thing though.
her
She
voice
does
is
Who
so
are
realize the
you?
powerful.
gravity.
You think she
Who are
does
you?
realize,
Who
and
are
that's
you?
why she
She
says it.
does. That's why she said it.
Who
You got
are
to think
Okay.
you?
about
Oh,
it. You got to think about it for a
okay.
second.
All
You got to think
right.
about it for a second. Like if you're her, you're Steph Curry's wife, right? You're most wives and girlfriends do not get the sort of platform that Ayesha Curry has created for herself. And what I mean by created for herself is literally like she's a chef in her own right.
Right.
She owns her own recipe. She has her own brand outside of Steph,
Yes.
which is why people reach out to her for things. So my thing is I think she does understand the gravity of what she's saying. I think you may not understand the gravity of what she's saying, because for young women like myself, what she is saying is things can change. And you have to be open to letting things change, because you don't know what's on the other side of the
Boy, it
change.
would have been beautiful if she'd have said that after what
But
you
why
just
does she have
said.
to?
That
But
was
why does she have to
beautiful.
say it like that? Because I'm gonna be
Because then
honest.
I don't have to interpret that something
Well,
wrong with what she's saying. If she said what you said after she made that statement, if she
okay.
had said what you said, I'd have
She
say,
did.
man,
She
she
did.
has a lot of wisdom.
She
But
Play the
did.
clip.
if
Hey, can you
I
play
was
the
a
clip?
sensitive
Can you play
She
the
person,
whole
did.
I
clip?
was a
So
sensitive
are
She did
Can
you
you
say
person.
play
trying
that.
to
it,
say
Hood?
you watched the whole you watched the
So
interview?
I
Did
watched
you
what you
watch the
sent me.
interview?
Yes, I watched it. I didn't hear her say that.
She
So
did
maybe
say
I'm
that.
wrong.
she did
She
say
said.
it.
Okay,
She
I'm gonna go
said.
back and watch it again.
She
No,
said
but
literally. She said you don't know what you want.
I don't
People
know
don't know
what you
what
want.
they want. And then she went on to say how she said her date with Steph, her first date with Steph, was the what it was one of. First, she was going to say the best day of her life. Then she said one of the best days of her life.
One of the best days.
That's what
Yeah.
she said
But
immediately
David,
after she
what was
said
her
that.
exactly? What was her exact words though? Was it what
That
Shakaria
was what it
just
was.
said? That was beautiful. What she
That
just said. I
No,
can't
that was
record
what
because
it
she just
because she
said
until
didn't.
what
though.
she didn't say that.
Now you're nitpicking. Now she didn't say it
Oh,
exactly like this person said it. She said this was the best day of my life. Life changes.
mhm.
I didn't
Right.
know what I wanted at that age. I had no
Right.
idea what I wanted.
Mm,
And she went on to
So
talk about how great her
so
marriage was.
so
What else
again,
does she
I
have
go
to
back
say?
to I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with her most recent statements. I think her most recent statements were fair. I agree because I mean in life we might want one thing, but life's right. Life happens, and
Hmm.
we end up getting what we never even asked for. I think it goes back to what she was saying before. All the comments she made. That's in terms of wanting men in her DMs and wanting attention from other men. I think they're applying those situations to this one. So again, when I first saw the headline, right, all I saw was Ayesha Curry goes viral. I didn't know what she
Hmm.
said. So the first
Hmm.
thing I thought was, here she go again, right?
Hmm.
But when I listen to
yeah.
her comments, I'm like, well, she didn't say anything that bad. But again, it's the messenger. It's almost like, you have that one friend who, when you see them coming, you be like, oh shit, here come this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like he might be coming with some good news, but you see him coming because of what he's done in the past. So again, I agree. I love the dialogue, but I do think that in this particular, I don't see anything wrong with what she said. I really don't. But I do think that a lot of the comments she made in the past is kind of now she has this thing following her, like, she wants attention, she wants this, so now no matter what she does or what she says, that's going to continue to follow her. Now how she gets past that, I have zero idea, right? Now we do have a few minutes left, right? So before we head out, I want to hear what are some lasting thoughts that you guys want to leave with this conversation. Like, what are some takeaways? Like, whether you agree, disagree, if you're indifferent, what do you think we as a society should take away from this entire conversation?
I like what David said about us all recognizing that there are double standards and that we need to stand up for the fact that we have these double standards and really speak truth to power and make people acknowledge that they're having a double standard and that you need to rethink how you're judging this person, how you're in comprehending the situation because the lens that you're using to view it is skewed. So I like what David was saying a little while ago.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
David, Hut, Sakura, what do you guys want to take away from this conversation?
My last part is that you always like dialogue when you can be in the room with educated people, that's talking from experience, and I think that is what gets missed when you're watching short clips, is that you don't get an entire picture of what's going on. So it takes platforms like this that you're able to dive in, and I've always enjoyed being on the other side of the coin, as y'all can see. um, but I think it takes platforms and discussions so that people understand that we should give more grace. It's easy to jump in and pick and retard and make fun um, of people when we see them just in general life. I know it always has been for me. I'm a bit of a jokester, but to the seriousness of what goes on, on these platforms and the way it affects people, we do have to be careful how we pick in retard, because we could be on a comment, and like I say, I could unknowingly hurt Shikario by making a statement about Ayesha Curry. I think we need to learn that as a people and as a culture.
Can I just say that you hurt me by
Are you
pronouncing your
backtracking
name
like
wrong?
Stephen A. Smith? You backtracking?
Oh, we talking about a collective now, but if we still talking individually, you already know what Hutch said.
You sure?
Look,
That
Hutch.
sound like,
I
I don't
don't
know
want
about y'all, but I heard
Jennifer
a
Hutchinson
whole
to
lot of
ever be
moonwalking. I
anywhere
don't know about
and
y'all.
say such a thing about Marco Hutchinson and meeting him. It make me feel very, very little. So I'll take my stripe on my ego and say God made me that way. Yeah, it would have hurt my ego if my wife said that.
I'm gonna buy you a glove, one of them shiny gloves, and a red jacket.
Hey, David.
Is it sad to say that you hurt my feelings by pronouncing my name wrong?
Yes, because I'm a Marco Polo. Say it again. Yes, ma'am. Socorro. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I apologize for offending.
Look at the Lord.
He got it now.
Look how he's still moonwalking. Boy, you better change your
Oh,
attitude.
always. I'm gonna always make it right. But
Hey.
I'm still think that woman should have hold her peace. I don't care what you say.
Hey, David, what you got, bro?
This has been great, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I know it's tough to be. It almost felt like 1 against 3 here. So I appreciate you, homie. I appreciate you holding your ground and and giving us a good fight. You didn't make any sense to me at all tonight, but that's okay.
See how David picking at me? See how David pick? See everybody had to be able to take it. See, it's funny. Look
I
at
like
it. See,
that.
that's what
I
I'm
like
saying.
it.
That's
I like
how
it.
Ayesha Curry should
I
feel.
appreciate it.
You
I
say
appreciate
something
it.
crazy, people should be able to
No,
laugh
but
at
Well,
David
it.
said what you did to him. He didn't say
No,
you were horrible because of what you
no,
said.
yeah.
Okay,
You're
there's a
fine.
difference.
You're fine. You're fine. But
Tonight's
what I would
entertainment.
say is that what I would say is that from a black man's perspective that is married to a black woman, is raising black girls, I think black men have to do a better job of protecting the image of black women. We can't jump on this tearing black women down thing, because that's an issue. That's a real issue. We've got to try to that should be the most grace. The person that looks like your mother, the person that looks like your sister, the person that looks like the homegirl down the street, that who's going to protect them? So they should get the most grace. They should get the most understanding. She's a normal person. I'm glad she said a normal thing so we can have these conversations, because she's not the only one. And when people criticize her, they're not just criticizing her. They're criticizing every woman that feels like her. So it's not just an opinion. That's how bullying works. It's not just, oh, why can't we have opinions? When you say that an honest thought that's innocuous, just an honest feeling is negative, or it shows that she's a bad mother or she's disrespectful, you're making it more difficult for other black women just to say the truth, not their truth. That's the truth. That's Anybody would feel that way. That's normal. My wife, the fellas in here that's married, you think every day your wife wakes up and looks at you and went, I made a great decision? No, she doesn't. Some days she thinks, I can't stand this Negro. And if some that's how she feels. And that's normal. That's a normal thing. We should be able to have normal conversations without all this condemnation. Now there are lines to cross, but she didn't cross. She's saying normal things. And if we're gonna talk publicly and be honest and have platforms like this, then let's do that. Let's do that. Let's save all our vitriol for the racism and for the sexism and for homophobia. Let's save all the vitriol for the real problems and stop condemning this little stuff, the normal stuff.
Exactly. So, Sakurio, what you got?
I nominate David for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Hey,
I think we all should write a letter. So David,
I mean, if
get
you
the
petition
Nobel
it,
Peace
I'll
Prize.
vote for you.
Oh my goodness.
Sakurio, how you feeling?
Why you be saying Socorio? You see, you know better.
I know Sakurio. I'm sorry.
You know what? I agree with. I'm gonna piggyback off what David was saying, just simply because of the fact that, like, sometimes just because you are a a a woman in this world, I think sometimes we get the short end of the stick on a lot of things. And I'm not saying that black men don't. I'm not saying that men don't. I'm saying, sometimes men can be neglected as well and need to be protected as well. But from the biblical aspect of being a woman and even and still being protected by men, I feel like that is definitely something that I pray women continue to receive or are hopefully receiving. The men in my life have protected me. So from that perspective, I can say, I'm definitely appreciative. When it comes to thoughts and opinions about the societal norms or societal, informalities and how we deal with those particular things, I'm not a normal person by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a normal woman. I'm not a normal person. A lot of my thoughts and opinions come from things that I've experienced or things that I've witnessed. So when it comes down to what I end up saying or about how I feel in telling my truth and my experiences, I don't expect everybody to agree. However, I do expect you to respect my opinion and my truth, and I expect you to respect me as an individual. And if we can do that, then we're good. So the being protected portion of that, respect also has to come in order for protection to follow. So I definitely agree with you on that, David. Definitely, Hutch, you were tonight's version of Joe Thompson. And the reason why I say that is because Joe,
Yeah,
Joe
okay.
catching
See,
it. Joe is
and
catching
I'm
it.
just saying,
Joe catching it.
if I can
Joe
take a
catching
joke,
it.
I ought to be able to take it. It's what you gonna get. Heat. You gonna get heat sometime.
Yeah, no, Joe catches it because Joe dishes it though. But nah, like
Yeah, can
for
I
for
say
real.
again? I'm sick of Joe Thompson. Sick it.
Hey, you know what's funny though, Shannon? He don't care. He don't care
He don't care. He
Lord
gonna
have
be the
mercy.
at all.
same farmer Joe around here with the little farmer hat,
Mm.
But thank y'all for
talking junk.
having me for sure. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shannon, let's get your Shannonism.
Oh goodness. So let's just say that I think the reason why we didn't get into this, but the reason why people have such hatred for poor Aisha Thomas, I'm gonna say poor Aisha Thomas, just because of who she is and how she carries herself. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a real issue with colorism, um, and things of that nature is why they judge what she says so harshly, because I feel like other women can say it and it won't be judged as harshly. That's just my personal opinion. Um, and I think that, like, she didn't say anything wrong. And I think it's really, really important for our own mental health, which is a big issue in our community, that people have spaces where they can speak their truth. Whether you agree with it or not, you shouldn't demonize someone because they're speaking their truth. It should be encouraged. It should be celebrated. And whatever relationship she has with her husband, where he gives her space to speak her truth, so that she does have good mental health, so that she does have these platforms to let these things go and it doesn't impact their home negatively. We should all respect that. So I just think that, again, getting back on David, I told you I'm going to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize, that um, we have to be able to speak truth to power and say, it's okay that people speak their truth. This double standard is wrong. It's okay that people feel comfortable enough to sit in their truth, to speak it, and to encourage everyone else to do the same.
Yeah.
That's what I.
And that's for me. If you would have caught me about 5 years ago, my opinion would probably be different. But now I'm raising two teenagers, one 15, one 16, right? Two teenage girls. They're at the dating phase where boys are calling, coming by, and all these other, and they have all these goals and aspirations. And out of all these goals and aspirations that they have, not once have they mentioned marriage. Not once have they mentioned kids, right? So now, when they're of age or our age or whatnot, and they say, "Hey, I never dreamed of having kids or having marriage." I don't take any exception to what Ayesha Curry said, because not all women, like I know women are, I guess, traditionally supposed to have that dream, right? But the fact is, not all of them do. You know what I mean? So it may not be it may not necessarily be a goal of theirs, but I mean it does indeed happen. But again, life happens. You meet people. Your feelings, your opinions change. So I take no exception with what she said. And again, I think it goes back to past comments that she's made. I think people, kind of like David said, when it comes to Shadua Sanders or LeBron James, right now people are kind of grasping for straws right now. Anything that
Mm-hmm.
Curry says is mud. It don't even matter. It don't matter how she says it. Right now, I will say I do not want my wife out there saying she want men in her
You
DMs.
don't. Arisha, she better
I
not.
No, I don't want that. And if she feels that way, she better not say it publicly. If she says it publicly, no, no. If she says it publicly, there's going to be a misunderstanding. But I I also understand that she's married to me, but she's not blind. She's still human. So she's
Yes.
gonna see.
Yeah.
So I understand all these things are out there. But for this one particular situation, I hate to say it, but I stand with Ayesha Curry. I
Why?
have
Why
zero.
you hate to say it? Wait, I have a question for you before we go. I
No,
have one question for you before we go. Hook, I got one question for you.
Yes,
A
sir.
serious question. I'm glad you stand with Aisha. Very brave of you, brother, to stand with
I know better. That's right, girl.
Aisha. But I have a question for you because you
Uh-huh.
you made a great statement right there when you said you got two teens. They haven't mentioned anything about marriage.
Hmm.
Now, you said that people expect women. You suspect that people expect women to aspire to marriage. That's
Hmm.
just a general thing that you pick up just being alive, just being an adult.
Hmm.
Do you feel that same way about men? Do you feel like young boys are being raised to aspire to be husbands and fathers? Do you feel like that's what they're being being fed? You feel like that?
And David, I'm glad you said that, because absolutely not. We aren't
Okay.
taught,
Okay.
and I know for
Okay.
me personally, I wasn't taught how to treat women. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
taught to seek out a wife. I wasn't
Right.
taught,
Right.
all these things. These are
Right.
things I had to learn when I
Right.
was young. When I went to school and came home,
Right.
my brother and my cousins asked me, "How many girlfriends you got?"
Right.
Right?
Right.
And when I had
Right.
these
Right.
girlfriends, they never said, "Are you treating her this way? Are you,
Uh-huh.
trying to be the best person for her?" So no,
Right.
we aren't raised
Right.
that way. That's what I mean by the double
Right.
standard, right? I don't
Right.
think it's fair that women are put in this bubble and they're expected to pop out kids and get married and all
Right.
these other things, right?
And
So
then we're
because
not
I'm
raising
raising,
partners.
right,
We're not
because I'm
raising
raising
partners.
teenage daughters now, listen, talking to them too, marriage ain't
Right.
no way on their radar. They ain't thinking about no
Right.
man, no nothing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Right. Right.
but yeah, to your
Right.
point, and that's a great conversation for another day, actually,
It is.
because
We gotta
Right.
do that. That's why I'm
Yes, it
48.
is.
Right.
because
Right.
Because
because
y'all
because
men don't know how to date. Y'all don't
we
know how to be
we
men.
talk about the we talk about
David do. Look at
the
David. David gonna win the Nobel Peace Prize. You know how to
yeah,
date,
but but we never talk
David
about
talk.
married.
we
He
never
did
talk
though.
about
He
the
got a
standards
Nobel
of
Peace
women
Prize.
that
He got
men
a
should be held to.
nomination.
So yeah, no,
Okay,
but
This
this
is
so
a
was
I
great,
think
combo.
man.
that's what people are hiding behind. We're trying to crucify Aisha, and the men are hiding behind this glaring double standard. Oh
Absolutely.
well, that's the issue. That's the issue.
But
We're putting her out there.
what would be really cool
What's
Hmm.
that?
if we came back in a couple weeks and talked about this very same thing,
Yeah.
about
Put me
the
on.
reverse it, talk
Yeah.
about are men held to the same standard. If you
Yes.
guys are available, but you can let us know.
Hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Hook. Let's
It's a
do
good one.
it. Okay?
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
I
Yeah.
got
I'll do it.
questions. I need
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah.
Bring Joe
Now
Thompson
now
on too.
now let me say this though. Now let me
No.
say this. Let me
No.
say this just to be clear. I think men and women are different. Okay.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is if you're raising one person, if you have an expectation for one person to want to be a partner and you're not raising the pair to want to be a partner, what is that? I'm not saying we're the same. I'm just saying if you're expecting women to sacrifice and to put their time and energy into a relationship, then why wouldn't you expect that for their counterpart? That makes no sense.
You are
That's what
Hmm.
I'm
absolutely.
saying.
I agree.
Yeah, I
I agree
got a
with
split. I got a boy girl.
you.
So
Yeah, you got both. See,
yeah.
I'm a
So
girl.
why?
So
What does
But
that
so if you're
mean?
raising like here's an example. If you're going to raise a woman to stay at home and be the caretaker, then you better be raising men to be providers and protectors.
Providers. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
And if you're
got you.
not raising providers and protectors, if you're going to come out here talking about 50-50, then don't tell me about no traditional wife.
Right.
Don't tell me about a traditional wife. So which is it? I'll play it either way. So how do you want to do it? That's my point.
Let
I
me
hear
be
you. Oh
traditional.
yeah.
Look here. I ain't got to. I don't need to do 50-50.
No, that's a good point. No, but I mean, but again, this entire conversation has been great.
I love it. I
But
love it.
Yes.
you know, and again, we'll be talking to you guys. But if you are willing, we'd be more than happy to have to flip the script a little bit and
Yeah.
talk about the expectations for both parties, not just women, but how we're raising our boys as well. So I think that's a great conversation to have. We'll you know, so again, we'll be chopping up about that as well, man. But
Yeah.
this whole thing has been great, man. And again, I know Ayesha Curry's comments, they definitely stirred up some strong opinions. But at the end of the day, it's about perspective, in my opinion, right? It's about perspective,
Yes.
it's about growth, it's about how we all interpret honesty in the public eye. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you. So until next time, stay curious and stay informed. We'll be talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.